if you want to arrange this Winnie the Pooh bouquet of balloons, stick around, and you're going to assemble all your materials. You're going to assemble all your balloons, and this is one of the kits that we offer. I'm going to assort them in each color, and I'm also going to put the glue dots away. I don't necessarily need it, but if you want to use it, you can. And the first color I'm putting away is the color Forest, and those are the 5-inch balloons you're going to be needing later. Then the first color here is the color Honey, and those are, you're going to receive 12-inch balloons, and those are 4 of each. You're also going to receive the Pooh color, and also again 12-inch balloons, 4 of each. You're going to be receiving the color Rue, 4 of each 12-inch balloons. And then the last color you're going to be receiving is the color Piglet, and you're also going to have 4 of those. And then you're going to have 4 of the 260 cube balloons, and those are to arrange the forest colors together. And you could get this stand at Amazon or any other party supply store, and just to make sure that it is at least 2 to 4 inches in height for you to be able to arrange your balloons on the actual stand, and also be it sturdy. And make sure that you also have a pump, either an electric pump or a hand pump. And I use a hand pump in this one because it's a lot easier for me to show you, and I'm showing you how high the stand is in this image. So now you're going to start off with the bottom balloons, and I like to start off with the Honey. You don't have to arrange the colors in this way, but you are more than welcome to use the same color coded colors that I used. And I used 16 pumps for each balloon, and I counted them so that it could be the same. You could just let out a little bit of air if you want to, so that it'll be exactly the same, but you don't have to. And then you're just going to tie the balloons together and tie it twice. And then I'm going to show you again, because in this clip it was not that visual. So you're going to get again the color Honey, and you're going to make sure that you pump 16 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 times. And then you're going to hold the balloon with one hand on the actual pump, and then get the other balloon and then pump again for 16 pumps. And the reason why I did it this way is so that I wouldn't have to double tie each balloon individually. So that's why I held it with the balloon pump. And then you're going to twist both balloons together. Okay, so see, let out a little bit of air, just a tad, so just to make sure that they are exactly the same size. And then you're going to twist it together as much as possible, and then you're going to tie the balloons together with each end. And I did that 2 times. And once you have those 2 tied together, you're going to get the other 2 balloons that you already twisted and tied together, the other 2 colors, and you're going to make a quad. A quad is a pair of 2 balloons to make a 4, which is a quad. And you're going to twist those together. So you're going to twist each of those 4 balloons together so that they could be held together. And at this point, you could use the glue dots to glue the balloons together, but I really advise you not to, because you'll be doing a lot of moving around, and once you glue the balloons together, you won't be able to remove them. And then now you're going to arrange the balloons on the actual stand. And this is just momentarily so that it won't be on the floor or moving away while you're actually working and blowing up the other balloons. And after you put it on the stand, just make sure that they are actually side by side, and put them in the actual stand. You could just slide it in the stand. And because I've done this so many times, it is very advisable not to wear any jewelry especially rings that can break the balloons or make them pop, because you only do receive 4 of each color. So if you don't have 4, then you will need more of the colors that you receive, but you only receive 4 in the pack. So the next color we're going to use is Pooh, and off camera I had already blew up the balloons and actually tied it, and I'm just going to go ahead and slide it in the stand, and I'm going to do the same thing for all the other 3 colors. I'm not going to blow it on camera because otherwise this video will be too long. And then the next color we're going to be using is the color Piglet. And again, I did it off camera, and I'm just arranging the balloons in the quad form on the actual stand, which is a lot easier to maneuver instead of you just gluing each of those individual balloons together plus in each stand. And then the last color we're going to be blowing up is the color Rue, and again off camera, and then we're going to arrange the quad in the stand, or on the stand rather. And I'm going to show you how it all looks once I back up the camera. So now I'm going to use the pump, and we're going to be pumping air into the 5-inch forest balloons. And for this, I only pumped 2 times. You could pump at least 3, but no more than 3, because otherwise it'll be out of shape and it won't look right, and then you won't be able to tie them together if there's too much air in them. So don't overblow them and don't underblow them either, but 2 pumps is great. And then just let out a little bit of air and make sure that they're both balloons look the same in size. And then again, you're going to be twisting them together as many times as you can, and then you're going to tie the balloons 2 times, and this ensures that they will not let out air. So make sure that you twist at least 4 times or more, and then you tie 2 times. And you're going to do the same thing for 2 more balloons of the forest color. And again, I only did 2 pumps, and that was it, 2 pumps. And let out a little bit of air. Actually, it's only 3. I'm sorry, this is only 3. So then this one I tied it individually because obviously it's not a quad, it's just a 3 balloons together. And then I used one of the ends of the balloons to tie it together. And this allows for more maneuverability, so it could be more manageable to move around on the actual balloon stand once we put the actual balloons on the bigger balloon, so the 12-inch. So this is the 5-inch balloons, and we're going to arrange those into 3s. And again, I'm going to do another set of 3s because we're going to be needing 2 sides of the balloons. And again, 2 pumps, only 2. And you're going to let out a little bit of air, just a little bit, just to make them equal and make them round. And then you're going to twist. At least 4 times and tie twice. And then you're going to get 1 more balloon, and you're going to pump air into that again, 2 pumps. I didn't do that twice, so I had to do it again. 2 pumps, let out a little bit of air, and then tie one end of the balloon to the other one. After you tie it by itself, And make sure that if you do have long nails that you don't pop the balloons. But these are very durable balloons, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. But just to be careful. And then you're going to tie that one balloon to the double balloons that you already have. And make sure you tie that 2 times as well so that it would stay together. And then you're going to get the 260 balloon, which is this long skinny one. And these are cut in half so that when you do receive it, you're going to have one end that is closed and the other end that is open. You're going to use the closed end, and you're going to use the closed end first, and you're going to squeeze out all the air out of the one that is closed off, which is the end of the balloon. You are going to receiving other balloons with the both ends are open, but the one that is closed, use that end first, and you're going to tie it to one of the forest balloons, and make sure that you tie that very tight. And at least tie that 2 times. Otherwise it will get loose. So tie it twice. And pull just to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. But don't pull too hard, otherwise it might break. So you're going to now squeeze out the air from the skinny balloon, the 260 balloons. It's called 260 because that's the size of it and the length of the balloon. And then you're going to be using that end and tying it to the other 3 pairs of balloons together. Just make sure that the air is still out of that skinny balloon, so it could be easier to use and you won't have air inside of that balloon because you don't need the air in there. It's okay if it has it, however, it's a lot easier to use if it doesn't have the air in them. And then make sure that you pull it, and that's your 3 5-inch balloons, which makes 6. And now for this one, I'm going to off camera again blow up the balloons, the forest balloons, and then attach it to the skinny balloons. And I'm showing you first here how I'm going to arrange it. You could also put it this way, leave it just hanging there. However, I found that when you do it this way, it comes out easily when you move the balloons around. So it's a lot better for you to just tie them twice. So now I'm going to be removing all the balloons that I just put on the stand so I could easily put the little bouquet, I call them bouquets, they're not bouquets, but the little bouquet balloons, the 5-inch balloons, on the actual 12-inch balloons a lot easier. So the first one is going to be the color Honey, and we're going to be going around one of the balloons twice, and then we're going to go across the other balloon, which is right directly across from the balloon that we went around twice. So look, so see, we're going to go squeeze it, and we're going around that one balloon 2 times, and then we're going to go across with the other one. And make sure that you pat it down or push it down so that it won't come back up. And this is what you do with the other balloon. So off camera, I'm going to blow up all the forest 5-inch balloons, and I'm going to utilize the skinny balloons to tie them together. And I already did that off camera, so that I'm going to get the other color, which is the Pooh color. And we're going to do the same. We're going to put it on the stand and make sure that the balloons are kind of not directly on top of each other so that you'll have space to maneuver the balloon. So again, you're going to choose one balloon and you're going to go ahead around it 2 times. Once, and then I put it around and across, and then just make sure that the balloon stays put. I kind of messed up on this one. You're supposed to go around that one balloon twice, and I did not do that. I see what I'm doing, moving the balloons around, because I don't want the balloons to be directly on top of each other. I want it to have like at an angle. Otherwise, the balloons would not stay still, and the balloons won't fit if they're directly on top of each other. So the color Honey and the color Pooh has to be at a slight angle so that the forest balloons are directly on top of each other, and then they're going to be going into a swirl once you have it set. And then the next color I'm going to be picking up is the color Piglet. And I'm going to again arrange that on the stand. And again, make sure that the balloon is not directly on top of the color Pooh, that it's at an angle. And again, I'm going to show you that you're going to use the skinny balloon and going around that one color, one balloon twice. And then you're going to go around the other side and bring it across. Okay, just make sure that your balloons were tied really tight and that you push the balloons down. Don't do it too hard, just do it very gently so that the balloon could actually stay in place, and also gently so that the balloon won't pop. And just make sure also that if you are using this balloon outdoors, that the balloons will oxidize. So when in extreme heat, the balloons will look pastel color, and it won't be as shiny as it is now. So if you leave the balloon indoors, it will stay just like this. But if you do put it outside, it will oxidize and look like a pastel type of color. If you're not going for that look, then leave the balloons inside. Although it still looks nice when you do put the balloons outside, and it does have that pastel look to it without the shininess. It does looks nice too. So at this point, I'm still arranging the balloons together so that it could make that swirl. Also, at this point, you can also use the glue dots. If you don't want to use the skinny balloons, you could use the glue dots and glue those 3 balloons onto the actual balloons, the 12-inch balloons, so that you don't have to go through this maneuvering of the balloons to make sure that they all look exactly the same and at an angle. You could avoid that if you use the glue dots. I did not use the glue dots in this video. I use the skinny balloons to move the balloons around, because for me, I like to be able to move them into place as opposed to just put them in place. And you could try that if you want to. However, I did not do this in this video, and I didn't do it for these balloons. So again, I'm here arranging the balloons together so that it could make like a swirl effect once I put them together. I'm having just a little bit of a hard time with these balloons because I think I blew them a little bit just too big. So the 16 pumps was just a little bit too big for what I was needing it. So I had to remove it off the stand and actually turn the balloons how I want them to stand. And then I put it into the stand. So it's okay if you make a mistake. You could always fix it later or fix it as you go. Just make sure that you are not handling the balloons too roughly because you don't want them to pop. Okay, now it worked. And then now we're going to go to the last color, which is the color Rue. Yes, Rue, the color Rue. And that color, we're going to use one more set of 6 balloons. And I think I over pumped balloons, but you're receiving 24 of those small balloons with 4 of the skinny balloons, the 260 balloons. And then again, I'm arranging it on the stand. Also keep in mind that the stand, if you leave it outside for too long, will get hot and it will pop the balloons if you have a metal stand, and this one is a metal stand. Okay, so now I'm looking at the balloons just to make sure that it's the arrangement that I like. And to show you guys also how it all looked together. And this is how it should look. If you want to move the balloons around, you can. You don't necessarily have to leave those colors just like this, but I thought that those colors together in this way looks a lot appealing. I'm turning the balloon around so that I could fix the other side too, because the other side was not the main focus. But as soon as you fix one side, you just turn it around and fix the other side, and you should be good to go once you do that. And just make sure that you flatten down the balloon so that all the balloons would be together. And then this should be the finished final look. And I'm just stepping back and just looking at the balloon just to make sure that it looks exactly how I want to look. And these are latex balloons, just in case I didn't mention it earlier. And now I'm bringing out the actually Winnie the Pooh balloons, and we have 2 different options. The one with the honey and the other one is just a face. So here I'm going to show you where to find the valve opening, and it's going to have a clear little plastic covering on top. And so what you're going to do is just with your fingers, and you're going to locate that little clear plastic covering. It's not all the way, so this is the valve, and you just locate it and just put your finger right through it. Or if you have long fingernails, you could do your fingernails as well. And it's very, very clear. And all you have to do is just locate it and just lift it up just a little bit, not too much, so that you won't rip the balloon. And then with your actual pump, you could use a hand pump or an electric pump, or you could use a helium pump with these balloons, and just put it right through the opening, the valve opening, and to make sure that the pump is going inside. And then you just hold it tight so that air won't escape, and just start pumping until your balloon is filled with air. Don't put too much air in the balloon because you don't want to burst the balloon. Now this balloon is helium based balloon. You could put air or helium in it. It is a foil based balloon, the Pooh, and I'm touching the ears just to make sure that there is enough air in them, and I thought that it wasn't, so I just gave it a little bit of more air in it, and you could squeeze the valve together to close the balloon. It's self-closing, so even though I do suggest to get an actual colorful string or a ribbon to tie it completely together so that air will not escape. And make sure that using your latex balloon, you do not use helium, because these latex balloon does not hold helium air. And this is how simple the design looks. You could put your balloon right on top, or you could put helium in the Pooh balloon, and you could have the balloon float, because the Pooh balloon does float. However, the latex balloon does not, so do not put helium in those balloons. And also do not use helium in the small forest balloons, because they will not hold any helium air. And this is the final look for the forest, the honey, the Pooh, the piglet, and the Roo balloon on the stand. It looks super cute. And then I'm going to show you the balloons also with air. And this is what it looks with helium air. And they do float. I suggest putting helium air at least one day in advance or the day of, so that it will last longer. The latex balloons will last long with the air in them. At least 2 days before will be fine, or you could just do it the day of as well. And that's it. Thank you for shopping with Taylor Prints. Visit our Etsy shop.